Hey y'all, hey YouTube family, guess what time it is? It's kiddie pool time. Today I'm going to show you how to set up a simple kiddie pool grow system. It's so easy. And in this particular pool we are going to be growing container corn. Now first up, you need to have a spot wherever you're going to put your pool that is level. Obviously this is not level ground, but this is not going to be this pool's permanent home. This is just for demonstration purposes. We have new neighbors moving in next door next weekend, and so we are going to be taking the pool over there to them. They have 3 little girls, so I figure they're going to love being able to grow some corn. Okie doke. If you'll come closer, we'll talk about the supplies that you need. Really and truthfully, you really just need 2 things to grow in the kiddie pool. You need a kiddie pool and you need some kind of bag. The cheapest way to go are those blue 50-cent Walmart bags that you can buy. But if you really want to have a bag that's going to last you longer, you can invest a little bit more and get grow bags, root pouches. These happen to be 7-gallon grow bags. And for corn, that's the size that you need to have. We're going to be planting 4 ears per bag, and we're going to be using 5 bags in the pool. Now if you really want to make it as easy as possible so that you don't have to keep 1.5 inches of water in your pool constantly and watch that's happening, you can use an automated system. So that's what I'm going to show you how to install today. It is a simple float like this. You can buy it separately, you can buy your connections separately, and you can buy your
There's a blooper.
And you can buy your hose separately. This tubing happens to be 3/8 inch, but you can also use 1/4. But if you don't want to go to the trouble to have to buy everything separately, you can buy it in a kit that Larry sells. This is a handy little thing. Inside is your float, and the outside cover is UV protected. If you have a float that you're putting together without this cover, are going to need to have some sort of cover to assemble the float into, some kind of a container, and then you'll have to mess with painting it and whatnot because you don't want algae to grow inside it. In this kit, obviously you have the grow bags you need, the float assembly with the cover, with a connector, 25 feet of 3/8 inch tubing, and a hose bib connector that's going to connect your tubing to the end of a hose. Now, as I mentioned earlier, with 5-gallon bags or larger in the pool, you need to maintain 1.5 inches of water in the bottom. This float assembly is preset for 1 inch, but it's easy enough to change that by just undoing the nut. Righty-tighty. Lefty-loosey. So when the float is sitting down like this, you can probably see the bobber's too low. So I'm going to need to push it up into the container. I think I have it fixed, but we will check the level when it's time to put the water into the pool. So let's get started and I'll show you how we install this. Easy peasy. Since this is a really cheap plastic pool, my husband taught me a little trick a while back. You just take some tape, this is just simple blue tape, and put it about where you're gonna drill. Now, to maintain 1.5 inches of water, I want a drain hole at about 2 inches. So I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone by making my drain hole at 2 inches, and my tubing will run through it, and it'll also be a drain. This is a 1/2 inch bit 3/8 inch tubing. So both water will flow out and the tubing will fit in. Okay, I'm actually at 2.5, and the reason I raised it up a tiny bit is because by the time I use this 1/2 inch drill bit, the bottom of the hole will be at 2 inches. Okay. And we have a beautiful hole. Check my tubing here. Fits in just fine. You're going to want to set up the float assembly in the center of the pool. So, it's pretty easy. This connection is just like a quick connect. And all you really have to do is push it in there good, and it does not come back out. This end works the same way. You have this little hose bib connector that's the quick connect on this side. You simply push it in there. Again, it's not coming out. Now we connect it to our hose. Let's turn on the hose pipe. Kind of brown. This is not your pool, Charlie. Yours is up top. Well, plan B. If I'm going to be able to show you all the steps, I had to have a level pool, so we've brought in some sand and made it level. It'll make it a little more complicated and a little heavier and harder to move when it goes next door, but that's okay. We have 1.5 inches of water in our pool. The bags have been floating around overnight. It's still level. So this wraps it up for part 1 of a 4-part series on building and setting up and filling and planting a kiddie pool system. Stay tuned. In a couple of days I will have part 2 up, and that's going to show you how you can use different sized grow bags in one pool. I'm also going to show you in that video how to do the right potting mix recipe for corn, since that's what we're going to be growing, and the proper way to fill the bags. So let me come a little closer, because I have a special shout out to a fella. I always appreciate comments, questions, suggestions that you give on each of our videos, but I wanted to give a special shout out to a fella named Bob. On one of my last videos, he made a comment, something about my voice and diction. So, I'm kind of thinking he doesn't know much about Southern speak. So I thought it might be a nice idea to just include as an ending for this particular 4-part series some examples of, well, just how we talk in the South. Well, hey y'all, how's your mama and them? Good manners are never out of style. The cornbread ain't quite done in the middle. Bless your heart. Well, I'll be. But here's the tricky part. Hose thingamajigger. Hey, I need the thingamabobber off the porch. These two hickeys. Is that camera cattywampus? Good gravy. You ain't studying me. You better straighten up and fly right. Tunny, hush. Kiss my grits. The bigger the hair, closer to God. Hoo-wee, that's a humdinger. I'm hot. Did I mention that it's hot? What are you doing? Pretty is as pretty does, and God don't like ugly. I'm from the South, darling, where I'll bless your heart, slap the mess out of you, and then bring you a casserole. Y'all come back now, you hear?